If Ex Machina and I Am Mother hooked up one night, this would be their love child. Archive is brought to us by director Gavin Rothery and stars Theo James as George, a robotic scientist conducting experiments at an abandoned facility out in the middle of nowhere. George is also dealing with the loss of his wife, but we learn that in this world of 2038, you can be what they call archived. Somehow, the company Archive will take people that have recently passed and put them in a big box so that you can still talk to them for a little while after death. And George has his dead wife in a black box in his living room, like you do, where he can periodically speak with her as if it was a video call. George is working on some revolutionary robotics at this facility for an unnamed company. In return, said company is paying for George's wife's archive. So it is in George's best interest to be successful at his work. Through a course of events, we come to find that unbeknownst to George, someone has been entering the facility and spying on him. He doesn't know what this person or persons want, but as he digs deeper into the mystery, things begin to unravel. I saw the trailer to this movie a few months back and I thought it looked really interesting. Unfortunately, while the trailer did get me very interested in the movie, it also spoiled a key plot point of the movie as well. It's nothing that totally breaks the movie or ruins the experience or anything, but it is kind of a big deal that the movie clearly did not want you to know before coming in. However, coming in with the knowledge of this key point didn't change the fact that Archive was a fucking awesome movie. This is a very well crafted, interesting movie that has you hooked from the beginning. The story is fantastic and the filmmakers did a wonderful job of divvying out pieces of it as the movie went along. And it gets pretty heady at times, and even though the movie does deal quite a bit with AI, it explores some very real human emotions in very thoughtful, mature ways. And they never pander to the audience. They never treat you like you're dumb. There's very little hand-holding here. They show you this story. They don't just tell you. They don't assume that you need your hand held. They assume you have a brain and can think for yourself. And considering how much hand-holding there is out there in movies nowadays, especially one that's pretty deep at times like this one, I really appreciate it when movies don't treat me like an idiot. So thanks, Gavin Rothery. I really appreciate it. This movie has a great tone too, and there's a few references to some other properties that I think I caught in there. One pretty blatant reference to the Half-Life series in mentioning Black Mesa, and while it's not an outright reference, there are a couple of parts that the movie has kind of a Cyberpunk 2077 feel. And at the time of this movie's release, that game's not out, but there's so much media that's been out about it over the years that it wouldn't surprise me if this movie, or at least these few scenes, were a bit inspired by that game and its aesthetics. If not, it's a really big fucking coincidence. Either way, I did really enjoy these scenes. There are some slower parts in the movie, but they're not bad slow. They're very interesting. There's always something going on in this movie that is relevant to the plot. And I didn't have a problem with these moments, and I don't think some people will, but I also think that these moments, these slower points in the film, may deter some. Which is a shame, because this movie has an absolutely awesome ending to it. There's quite a few twists and turns in this movie, and most of them are done pretty well. And one of the things that happens in the end, you might start to pick up on right there close to the reveal. But the filmmakers did a really good job of recognizing that and throwing a few things your way to confuse you. So while you may have an idea of what might be going on, you're never 100% sure until it happens. Either way, it's a great ending and just a hell of a payoff. The film doesn't have a very large cast. In fact, a great deal of the screen time is just Theo James and his two robots. There are a few other characters that come and go, and they do a great job, but Theo James, oh shit, who knew he had it in him? He does an amazing job here carrying this movie. And maybe other people aren't surprised about this, but me myself, I'm really only familiar with him from the Divergent series movies. And while he wasn't like terrible in those movies, I wouldn't go as far to say that he was great either. But here, he's great. This is absolutely great. The guy has some legit acting chops. After seeing this movie, I'm pretty excited to see what else the guy's gonna be in. He does a great job job of showing how George just has this great loss in his life and he is still reeling from that. But at the same time, he has this tremendous drive to finish this project that he started. His performance is very believable and sympathetic. You want this guy to succeed, and even though it's hard to see what it may be, you want him to get his happy ending. So being a futuristic movie with robots and stuff like that, the movie is obviously going to have a fair amount of special effects. Fortunately, like the rest of the film, the special effects here are top notch. The CGI and practical blend of effects here is just right and looks amazing. These are some legitimately awesome fucking effects. Like, there's quite a few times when I couldn't tell if it was CGI or practical. I know that some of it was CGI, but it's such good CGI, I couldn't tell that it wasn't real at times. But the CGI isn't just there to be there. It all has a purpose. And it seems as if they only used CGI when it was something they just absolutely could not do practically. And no surprise, the end result was an amazing looking movie. I had a great time with Archive. It has an enthralling, interesting, fantastic story, great performances, fantastic special effects, and was just all around a very satisfying, wonderful watch that is absolutely worth a buy.
Do it! Do it!
Show me the money!
Do it!
You motherfucker!
So,
Show me the money!
do it!
Guys, check this one out. It's a fantastic watch and you won't be disappointed. So there it is, guys, my review of Archive. If you enjoyed, want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Black Mesa.
You made another like me.
I'm not replacing you.
But you did it. I want to go home.
This is home.
Not to spoil anything, but there is a part in the movie where our main character makes a more realistic looking robot. From what we can see, it more or less has all the function of a regular human being. And he talks about how he had to do tons and tons of testing and all this to make it all work. I gotta wonder though, how authentically real is this robot? I mean, she got like skin and eyes and everything. She more or less looks like a human being. There's a couple little things, but more or less, she's pretty authentic. But how authentic? And if she is authentically real, how did he test that? And how extensive was that testing? Don't look at me like that and act like I'm the only person in the room who thought of this shit. Shit, it was the first thing I thought about when I saw her on screen. Maybe that says something about me. Oh well, fuck it. I'm sure that's what he did.